Hard to believe that the Canadian Football League's season uh, began months ago. It seemed like yesterday that began, but it's now over. It's playoff time. But first, look back at the last quarter of the season. Let's actually start at the end. The very last game of the regular season was the Argonauts and the Lions. It ended with the Argos taking the East in blowout fashion. Um, the Argos needed just a win or a tie to capture the East Division and get that bye into the Eastern Final, and we blew out the Lions 40-13 to get that. Um, Calgary clinched the West weeks ago, but there was still positioning left to determine in the West Division. Winnipeg was looking to get second place to get a home game in the West semifinal, and they got that. And Edmonton and Saskatchewan ended up playing each other. Though that game was kind of meaningless because either teams would go on the road, and some would say, well, the easier road will be the East, which will go to whoever lost. Edmonton won that game, so it's all set. Edmonton's going to Winnipeg for the Western semifinal, while the Eastern semifinal has the Rough Riders crossing over to the Eastern portion of the playoffs, and they're going to face the Ottawa Red Blacks. The Ottawa Red Blacks. The East Division was basically a two-team race for about the second half of the season. It was a terrible division, but it was basically between Toronto and Ottawa because Hamilton and Montreal were pretty much out of it from the beginning, especially with Hamilton starting 0-8. And it was a two-team race. Um, the Argos actually fell out of first place for a while, but actually we were actually a second place team entering the final week of the season because we had the bye and Hamilton failed to do their job and let Ottawa beat them. God, Hamilton sucks. But anyway, um, so it was the Argos at 8-9 and the Red Blacks at 8-9-1. So their regular season was over and they were going to be at home, but they didn't know it was going to be for tomorrow or for next Sunday. But the tie would have got this division too because Toronto had a winning record against all three of the divisional rivals, including Ottawa, going 2-0 in the season series. But we got the big win, so we finished at 9-9 in first place in East Division. So we get the bye. So the playoffs start tomorrow, but we don't play until next Sunday in at home against whoever wins that Eastern semifinal. And I enjoy the playoffs. It's gonna be great. And all five playoff games are gonna be on available American television, no streaming. On ESPN2 and ESPN News, of course, ESPN2 will have the Grey Cup game, and of course, the western side, of course, is Winnipeg and Edmonton. The winner goes to Calgary. But it was a crazy season. Calgary actually lost back-to-back games for the first time in a long time. Of course, that was maybe because they spent the last like 2-3 weeks of the season having very little to play for. I mean, they clinched everything. So they clinched everything. They got in the playoffs. They got the Western Division bye. So all they had to do was just play it out and see how the rest of the field goes. But that's pretty much how it went. It was all about positioning in the West. In the East, it was all about the division title and the crown, and not the crown, and the bye. So it should be a very interesting postseason. I can't wait. It all starts tomorrow. Like I said, both games are going to be on ESPN two, I believe. Uh, yeah, both games will be on ESPN two. The Eastern Final first, followed by the Western Final. No, the Eastern Semifinal first, followed by the Western Final. Of course, Ottawa, of course, is looking to repeat. They're looking to repeat as Grey Cup champions. Calgary's looking to get to the Grey Cup game for the third time in 4 years. As for the Argonauts, we're looking to get there for the first time since winning the Grey Cup in 2012. Um, Edmonton won the Grey Cup in 2015, but but fell one win short of returning to the game. Now they're looking to get there for the second time in 3 years. And Saskatchewan won the Grey Cup in 2013, but haven't even come close to playing for the Cup since then. So so all teams involved are looking to get to end what droughts, if any, they have. But except for Ottawa, who, like I said, is going to win back to back. But it should be very fun Grey Cup playoffs. The next 3 weeks are going to be chaotic, and I will review the division semifinals sometime next week, and I'll have my review of Week 10 on Tuesday or Wednesday. So with that, I'll just say any CFL fans out there in the U.S. Along with myself, watch ESPN2 and enjoy those games, and I'll review them next week.